This is Overtime, a live series brought to you by Lynx and War Room Media, where we talk about basically anything we want. And here are your hosts, Greg Williams and Ryan Ray. Whoa! That's been a, what is that, about 6-7 weeks now?
Golly, has it been that long?
I'm not being real consistent here with this, but hey, it's been a long run here. But hey, before I just letting people join on the show here, but before we get started, I kind of wanted to introduce Ryan again for our listeners. This is Ryan Roast. Ryan Roast. Hey, that's actually pretty good.
I like that. I'm gonna change my name. Ryan Roast.
Ryan Ray, our co-host here with on Overtime, but he is the CEO of Array Global Advisors, CEO of War Room Media, member of the Board of Advisors at George H.W. Bush Foundation for U.S.-China Relations, VP of Media Relations and Partner, Jubilee Royalty, and host of Inside War Room Energy Week podcast and Texas Oil and Gas podcast.
Man, you got it all. That's impressive.
Man, you're actually an impressive guy. So here's the legend, man. How's things out in Granbury?
Listen. Let's as Ben would say, let's don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, right?
So, good story. How has it been these days? Good.
I was just talking to him right before we hopped on, and he's, the same guy that no one likes. So
all those friends. Nothing
I'm
to
just
do.
gonna give him a hard time. No, Ben's a good dude. Obviously, I'm gonna give him a hard time for those who don't know. No, Ben's good. He's good, man. Matter of fact, I'll probably try to tag him in a post or something to see if I can get him to come on the podcast. He always gives me a hard time on his shows, and so I need to give him a hard time on my shows more often.
Well, let's see what we can get here for our rundown. All right, so we'll go across the oil prices, flared gas and Bitcoin mining, China doing some drilling, Beijing puts the brakes on foreign spectators, UFC and Jon Jones, a 25-foot chimichanga, and a 2,195-pound pumpkin, man.
Chimichanga.
A 25-foot chimichanga.
I don't like a 3-inch or a 6-inch chimichanga, much less a 25-footer. I've never been a chimichanga guy.
You've never been a chimichanga guy, man?
I like burritos. I like tacos. I like quesadillas. I like nachos. I like fajitas. Never been a big chimichanga guy.
Oh, man. Really?
Yeah.
How can you not like chicken, cheese, and tortillas, man?
I think it's the way they fry them. I've had some with spinach and stuff in there, and it's not. I mean, I like spinach, but not on my chimichanga.
I mean, I know why, Ryan. I mean, I'm just gonna put that out there because Burger King doesn't make chimichangas.
Okay. Yeah, when you asked about Ben, that's okay. Now I see where this is going. Now I see. Wow.
Just right out the box.
Right out there. I'm glad we took off 6 weeks to come back to this. This is great. This is great. It's good to be back. Really. Well, really good to be back.
You can't cut anybody any slack.
No
slack.
I don't blame you.
So for the WTI, we have $74.44, and for the Brent, we have a $77.90. So API data for the weekend in September the 24th showed an increase of 4.127 million barrels. Although there was a gain in inventory, there was also 4 million more barrels consumed than expected, where our economists expected 2.3 million, and then draw was actually 6.1 million. So, Ryan, oil's been rallying here as of late, just taking a bit of a breather now, but what are your thoughts behind it?
I mean, at this point, I was very skeptical of the prices earlier in the year, but right now it feels like the perfect storm, right? U.S. production is not really picking up. We'll have to see what happens with international demand as we come into, winter cold season, flu season, and, now COVID season. And so, will we see more shutdowns or people traveling less? I don't know. But, it's I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
You see OPEC flip the cards here? Think they bring on some more production there and
Maybe a little bit, but they had to turn it on pretty significantly to get the price back. Now the price is where it should be. It's for like U.S. producers, right?
Right.
The weird thing is that prices are in the 70s and 80s, gas in the $5 range, and U.S. production ain't going crazy. That's what's weird.
Yeah, with more imports as well. So
Right, right.
So on to a little bit of the market news. So I ran across this one, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to chat with you about it. But this flared gas and this Bitcoin mining. So do you have any background on any of that? Or
I've looked into some of it. I know some groups who have done some stuff or have looked into doing some stuff with it, but that's kind of my extent. I haven't worked on it personally.
okay, so like I heard some people talking about it late last year, and to be honest, I'm kind of like probably most people didn't pay it much attention, but looks like there's something brewing here with it. There was an article here from CNBC on a meeting that took place here early in September about the same topic in Houston. So there is Adam Ortloff. Ortloff. I'm going to say that wrong, and I did multiple times. Anyway, he heads up business development in the U.S. for Upstream Data, a company that manufactures and supplies portable mining solutions for oil and gas facilities. He goes into some of the chemistry behind flaring and why the systems are useful. When the CH4 methane combusts, the only exhaust is CO2 and H2O vapor, which is literally the same thing that comes out as we exhale. Even with the flares, they're only about 75 to 90% efficient, he claims. Basically, some of the methane is being vented without being combusted, of course. When you run the methane through an engine or a generator, 100% of the methane is combusted and none of it leaks or vents to the air. But of course, no one will run these generators unless they can make some money because of the cost to kind of acquire them, maintain them, and so on and so forth. He says that it makes economical sustainability for oil and gas companies to combust their methane rather than externally combust it with a flare. They currently have 140 of these Bitcoin mines at the moment. Any additional thoughts there, Ryan? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think the question that I've often wondered is where does it no longer make sense, right? So, at what point do you get if natural gas is $1, makes a lot of sense, probably. If
Sure.
natural gas is $5, does it make sense then? And it's not just natural gas price; it's also the price of Bitcoin, right? Because if Bitcoin theoretically was $10 million, it would always make sense. So I think those are the questions that I haven't seen anyone inside the industry that has worked on this kind of breakdown how they look at it and what they consider to be the right margin. So
Well, me, it looks like it would be a lot of factors there for scalability. So, the first off, you have Bitcoin, as you say, then you have the price of gas, then you have say the availability of equipment or anything like this, or personnel to operate or run it or whatever. But it looks like there's a lot of things that would. I mean, 140 mining stations now. It seems like they've got quite the
yeah,
idea there.
right. I'm just saying, just from my perspective, I'm just curious about those angles. I don't know. I'd love to, if we know someone who does it, I'd love to talk to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
And
So if
not and
anybody
not
out there
on the big,
knows anybody, jump in
yeah,
there.
yeah, not on the Bitcoin side. I know those guys. I'm curious on the operator side because the Bitcoin guys obviously are incentivized to, kind of skew it one way or
Of
another.
course. Yeah, I'm with you there. So if there's operators out there that's looking to take care of some of their flared gas through a mining station, then yeah, I'd love to hear from them too.
Absolutely.
Be awesome. The other thing there, Ryan, was that there was an article that came out here a while back about China, and actually it was a blurb in the Rystad report, but it looks like they're looking to throw some serious cash into the game. It looks like 120 billion before 2025. So that'd be CNPC, CNOC, and Sinopec together expected to spend about 123 billion on drilling and well services. That's a lot of wells, dude. 100.
I know.
Yeah, I don't even. That's a lot. That's a lot of wells. I mean, to run I guess millions of cars, buses, and trucks over the next 5 years. It'll take a heck of a lot of oil. What do you think?
Yeah, well,
Of course.
of course, right? I mean, it's a deal where we keep talking about this, which is, oil consumption is peaked, oil demand's peaked. That's just hogwash. It's
Totally
just not true. And
trash.
and we're seeing that the price is going up. No one is sitting here as a price. So you could see the price go up because the supply is being drawn down, and people are like, "Oh well, who cares? The price is going up, and it's going to eventually go so high that no one will use it. But at that point, we won't need it anymore." No one is saying that. No
No
one in
one.
the world is like, "Hey, who
We're,
cares
yeah,
how high the price
we're
goes?"
done. We're done with
Right.
oil.
Once it goes to $200 a barrel, we'll just quit using it. They're all like, "Okay, it's getting high. We don't want it to get out of control." Because they know we're going to be on oil for the rest of our lives. They all know.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
it's crazy.
I like the way they know we're going to be on oil for the rest of our life.
I mean,
Rest
they
of
know
our
it.
life.
Yeah, and our kids' lives.
Definitely for the foreseeable future.
Exactly. They all know it.
Dun dun dun. When is the new season of Mandalorian coming out, man?
I don't know. I did see.
I thought it was supposed to be fall of this year, was it not?
No, it's like well, the book of Boba Fett comes out in December, the 29th, I think I saw the other day.
Right.
And so I don't know if they're gonna let that whole season roll out before Mandalorian comes. So I don't know if they're running at the same time.
Gotcha.
I don't know. But Book of Boba Fett's like December 29th. I think they just announced it.
Sweet.
You want me to ask about the Clone Wars? I can't. You already made your Burger King joke.
Hey man. Hey,
Don't.
Hey, I did watch all of the Game of Thrones finally.
Never watched Game of Thrones.
I did. When you're in some of the places that I'm in, I run out of stuff to actually to watch or
you can watch Clone Wars.
I could, but I don't have that much time.
I don't have that much time.
I don't have that much time.
I don't have 7 seasons of time. I have time to watch 17 hours of whatever that the dragon show is, but I don't have time.
It was different. That's for sure. I know now why I kind of stayed clear of it, but
So you watched the whole thing?
I did watch the whole thing. I did. So it was really good for about the first 6 seasons. And it really kind of you can tell the writers were rushed to kind of get off of it and get onto another project from some of the reading I was doing. So it seems like the writers were looking to move off of Game of Thrones and move over to something with Disney. I think there was. I can't remember exactly which one was coming in behind the Game of Thrones during that kind of time frame. But it looks like they rushed through and made a few mistakes in that kind of like last season, and come to find out that Disney didn't want them after
that's not good.
Yeah, I know. So basically, they rushed through it and ended up without having a job with Disney at the end. But anyway, it was all right.
Didn't the author of the books? I don't think he's ever finished the last book, and so they have that problem as well.
Yeah.
So
when you don't have an ending to the story, then
that makes it kind of tough.
It does. All right, so we'll move.
Hey, there is
Bud. There's
Alyssa.
Yeah. Morning.
Blame Greg for us not being here. Blame him.
Yes, definitely blame me. Hopefully, with things will level out here, we can have a couple more shows here. Actually, in sync. Well,
it's factually true, but
we need to do some live one day, right? I don't we do these continuously like this. We need to do it with each other live. Yeah, like not
like
live
in person.
Like yeah,
you mean in person?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd
need to catch up and do one.
Yeah. I was just down in Houston the other day.
Was you?
This
is where all the money's at, man.
Tell me about it. I was down 2 Saturdays ago. I came down. I actually came down on a Friday. I had a meeting. If I tell you, you're gonna laugh at me. But I had a meeting with the president of Ghana.
No, it's all right.
And so I came down. I came down and to Houston for that. So those weird things. You're like, I had a meeting. It wasn't like a private meeting. It was like 15 or 20 of us in the room. But
I like Ghana.
Yeah, that was good. It was good.
I like Ghana. I like most parts of West Africa, to be honest.
Well,
Yeah,
you're a good guy, so
I've enjoyed it.
you're a good guy. Yeah.
All right, let's get over here to sports. So it looks like Beijing will be putting the brakes on foreign spectators. I mean, not that probably was a whole bunch of people just jumping there buying tickets, but speaking of sports and COVID, although I'm going to add here, like I've had many other conversations, that we kind of figured our way around most of this, but no foreign spectators will be allowed inside to watch the Winter Games in Beijing. This came from the International Olympic Committee yesterday. This will also include lengthy quarantines for unvaccinated participants and daily COVID-19 testing. So I still do not understand the daily part of it. But anyway, so to anyone out there that was just thinking about like headed out to Beijing, go ahead and get you a refund on those tickets. Ryan, were you planning on going?
No.
No.
No, I mean, I've never been to the Olympics, and it's not really like a
If I was going to go, dude, it'd be like snowboarding, or it'd be like X Games stuff. It'd be something like that. It'd be something that I would want to.
well,
I'm really not that much of I watch a lot of marathons and a
you
lot of
you
baton handoffs and like javelins and stuff. I've just never been that guy.
I don't like the Olympics.
Well,
Period.
I mean, you don't like even like the wrestling, or you don't like the boxing. You don't like none of it, huh?
I mean,
There's got to be something in there that you like, dude.
do we want to get into this? Do we really want to go down this bunny hole and make everybody mad? I'll be happy to. I'm that guy.
Go ahead, man.
The Olympics
you can give us a
is
little blurb there.
the Olympics is the biggest waste of time in modern human history, only surpassed by TikTok. Okay.
Oh, oh,
I'm coming in hot, baby. Coming in hot.
oh.
Coming in hot. Okay. Coming in hot.
And by the way, we're gonna stick a plug in there. We have 11,000 followers on that. I mean, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm not mad at you on TikTok. I'm not mad at you for watching the Olympics. But listen, I will turn on curling. That's the little broom, because it's hilarious that that's considered a sport in the Olympics. Go look up the list of sports. We have gardening, we have rock skipping, we have looking.
Wait, didn't we? We talked about this before. We have breakdancing in there now.
Breakdancing, yes. We have all kinds of things that are irrelevant. It is a money grab. And if you like that, man, more power to you. But if I'm
Isn't it just like a competition? I mean, can anything be competitive and be a sport too? I mean,
okay.
I mean,
By that definition, let's have the pin twirlers there to see who can twirl the pin the fastest or whatever. I mean, yes, you can do that. I'm just saying none of those things interest me. I will turn it on when you have like Michael Phelps or Bolt or someone like that who is so far ahead. You're wanting to see just greatness on steroids over and over again.
because there's never been steroids there.
Well, they're all on steroids, but that's a separate discussion. These guys are really juiced up. No, what I'm saying is, like when Phelps was racing there at the end, it's like, okay, is he ever going to lose? Like, I want to see that. I want to see, the theater of that.
Yeah, you want to see the history.
Yes, that's interesting. Bob from Idaho winning the first ever curling or bobsledding event. Could care less about. Nothing against Bob. Again, I'm not mad at anybody for doing it. It's just
nothing against Bob.
Nothing against Bob. I'm happy for Bob. Bob can come on my podcast and tell me about how he won the gold in curling from Idaho, and I'm happy to hear a story. I'm just not watching the Olympics. I'm just not. I don't even understand it anymore.
Well, you're not going to be watching it in person. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I'm not going to pay to go to China to get daily COVID tested to watch a bunch of things that I don't. No. Let me retract that. If someone wants to pay me to be their correspondent for the Olympics, and I'm getting paid to watch them, then yeah, I'm happy to go. I'm game.
Winter Olympics for 2022. So
but I ain't getting no anal swab.
When is so 2022 Winter Olympics? So next year, winter next year.
No, it's this coming. It's
2022. Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, but we have made leaps and bounds over this stuff. For what are we doing?
We can now skate around the. We can skate around the rink 3 times instead of 4.
Amazing.
It's Like,
speaking speaking of COVID related news, first base coach for the Sox is going to be booted before before they go into the playoffs because he's not vaccinated.
if you say anything
that.
about this the wrong way, YouTube will ban you.
Will it? Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that too.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So
this is about yeah, I saw
this
that.
is a visual podcast. Visual. So hold on, look right here. This is great news.
So is this why you were asking about yesterday about finding a new
Yes.
oh, was this because of this
Yes.
vaccine thing?
Yes.
Hmm.
I don't care your stance on it. I just want to be able to have discussions. And I bring on people on inside the war room who say all kinds of stuff. And I don't want my whole podcast on YouTube to be tied to their changing policies. And listen, like it's not even about this particular issue. We're getting to a spot now that we just all have to realize that we're going to wake up one day and we're going to be on the wrong side of whatever the issue is. And that's the problem, right? No matter what you think of this issue or any issue, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be on the wrong side of the issue. I mean, we covered a story last year where Twitter banned people for criticizing NATO. NATO, which is like the biggest sham organization in the world.
Agreed.
And people were getting on Twitter getting banned for it. I didn't know like that was a faux pas. I thought that was like Tuesday you made fun of NATO. So
just throwing that up there from being just letting you know. Why are we hating on curling athletes?
I gave Bob from Idaho.
You gave him you did. Okay? You did.
Listen, more people watch this podcast. We talk about Bob from Idaho than we'll watch him on the
Bob.
And Bob can come on Inside the War Room and tell a story. You get all emotional. Okay, listen, I am not an anti-curler. Okay, I'm not that. I'm just not going to watch it.
Yeah, Paralympics table tennis sounds pretty interesting as well from Paul.
So you be like watching the Olympics. Ben, let me tell you something. Ben, why does Ben got to be here for starters? The Burger King jokes have already started, Ben, without you, so we don't need you for those, but thank you anyway. Ben's the kind of guy who's going to get on YouTube and go to NBC's channel and watch like the 3-minute highlight clip and be like, man, I'm all in on the Olympics this year. They're awesome.
The 3-minute highlight clip.
Yeah. They go like around the Olympics and show like the top plays or whatever. And Ben's like, man, I am deep into this stuff. That's Ben. That's Ben. That's Ben. Ben, yes, you don't even deny it. Don't even deny it.
Is he going to deny it?
I don't know if he's still here or not. He better not deny it.
Here's another one though about UFC and Jon Jones.
Oh gracious! What a story, huh?
Terrible, man. Terrible. So we talk anytime we're gonna be on here talking. We're gonna talk about fights. It's just what we do. It's better than talking about COVID. Yeah. But here's Jon Jones. Take it easy. He hasn't been in the ring since February 2020, something like that.
Forever. Yeah.
Sits with a record 26-1-0 back in the news for domestic violence this last Friday. Any of our listeners out there can go read up on it. It's actually quite sad when the youngest child asked the lady at the hotel desk to call the police. So, although I got lots of time for Dana White and the UFC tribe, what are your thoughts here? I mean, obviously Dana holds the line when it comes to legal outcomes and kind of plays off of that. But what do you think here?
Okay, so there's a couple issues at hand. One, first off, and let me just say this is not a Jon Jones comment. My kids will always ask me, which fighter do you like? Which fighter do you not like? And I will say, I like this guy, or in UFC case, this girl, or whatever. Right. And they'll say, why? And I say, I don't know. I just like the way they fight. I like something about them. Sometimes I don't like them. There's no real rhyme or reason. There are a few exceptions to that rule because I really, by and large, try not to follow much of who these people are outside of the cage, because if they're very crafty, then they're going to give you an image that you're going to have a hard time deciphering what's what, right? So you won't know what they are based upon their social media. So I don't try to get caught up into who they are. Just do I enjoy them when they're in the cage? They're to entertain me, because that's what they're there for. Let's make no mistake about it. They're there to entertain you and to win the fight. That's their two objectives: to make it entertaining and to win.
Sell tickets. Get it done.
Sell tickets. That's exactly right. If you don't believe me, I can give you plenty of names of guys who are good fighters who just went away because they didn't sell tickets. Jon Jones, with that being said, Jon Jones is the exception to that rule because he is 100% a fraud. Like, so take Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen had this whole shtick he used to do where he was kind of like the old wrestler shtick. Like, he would get in there and you could tell he was doing a shtick. And it was funny if you got it, And Jones, when he's on the microphone in the octagon or whatever, the stuff that you do watch surrounding the fight, he's just a fraud. And I cannot stand him. And the way the media tries to cover these guys because they won't access. That's what they won't. They won't access to Jon Jones. He's a bad person. He's been a bad person for years. This is not the first run in. This is not the second run in. This is not the third run in. This is not the fourth run in. There are multiple run ins. He's a cheater. He was doing cocaine before fights. He's taking performance enhancing drugs. So I have.
So we know. We know you don't like Jon Jones, but what about Dana?
I had to get that out there.
No, I know. I hear you. I hear you. I feel the exact same way, especially whenever you read more into his past and his history and everything else. It's absolute trash from a business perspective. Dana's always been on the outside of the law when it comes to things, or he's been in line with it, right? So he waits to see kind of what the general public's going to do about the situation. Then he goes strictly in a business nature for it. So he doesn't. So for me, it looks like he doesn't care what happens here. That he's in it for. He's going to be in it for the entertainment purposes. So if the people want to see Jon Jones back in the ring, he'll put him back in the ring.
Right. And so here's the thing. If you're Dana White, how much news has this really gotten? Okay. The fight fans know about it.
Sure.
Okay. We'll talk about getting banned in a second. The fight fans know about it. But is ESPN leading every night talking about this? Is this on Fox News? No. Right. Okay.
No.
So you got to put in context. Now, if it gets worse and he were to really do something atrocious, or someone were to get really hurt, and I'm not trying to minimize what's happened, but someone were to die per se, then you would come back and say, well, yeah, Dana, you knew this was a trajectory and you kept willing and dealing with him. That's one thing. The second thing is if you cut him, he goes over to Bellator the next day or to one FC or to wherever. He dominates that, and they sit there and try to build their promotion off of the guy that you cut. Like, it's not as if he's going to get cut and no one's going to pick him up. Someone will pick him. He will have offers immediately, and then he will go over there and he will probably be the best. And then they will say, we have the best whatever heavyweight in the world, the UFC. And so they will use that to bring in viewers, because at the end of the day, how many people are not going to buy a pay-per-view because Jon Jones is on it? I'm certainly not making a decision whether I'm buying or not Jon Jones. I buy my UFCs based upon the totality of the main card, right? If it's a good main card,
the main card is certainly
right. So it's very hard for me to buy just a headline fight within the UFC. If the main card's great, I'm in. If the main card's great, I'm in. If the headline's great and the main card's not interesting, I probably will buy it. So if Jon Jones
and Jake Paul.
Yeah. So so right. So he could go fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul never fighting, but he could go theoretically fight Jake Paul tomorrow and make a ton of money. Sure. So when it only hurts,
you go to BKFC.
Yeah, BKFC. It only hurts the UFC. So so I wanted to say the reason I want to go so hard on Jon Jones is to make this. What I'm about to say is I don't blame the UFC for not cutting him. Like, I don't blame them. And I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I'm saying I don't blame them because of all the things I just said. Is that he's going to go to Bellator or somewhere else, and they're going to use that to try to catch up to the UFC. Mm-hmm. And the UFC is in the money-making business just like we all are. Now, if you want to say on moral principles that he should get kicked off, let me just tell you, almost a large
if you go on just moral principles,
the roster only, the large portions of the roster of the UFC would have to go. And that's the thing. We don't know all of that.
I don't even think UFC would have started if it had been on moral principles.
Yeah. And so I don't like Jon Jones. I don't pull for Jon Jones. I root for him to lose. I cannot stand him. Like him, Tito Ortiz. There's a Conor McGregor. There's a few fighters I just don't like. There's a lot of guys I root against, but I don't have a problem with them personally. I don't like Jon Jones. But I don't like, if you cut him, Okay, cut him, but realize this is you, business owner, cutting your best sales guy when he has all your information, all the things that can make you vulnerable, and then he's going to walk out the door and go to your competitor, and he's going to dominate because he's not only your best guy, he's the best guy in the world.
What do they say? Even bad media is still free media.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to sit here and say that they should cut him. That's a decision. I'm not mad at you if you say that he should. The UFC should. I think that's a fine opinion to have. I'm just simply saying, I'm like, geesh, I would hate to be in their spot right now. That's my take. I would hate to be in their spot trying to determine this.
I'm sure Dana nudges way in and out of it.
Oh yeah,
he'll come out on top wherever it's at. He'll come out. He'll make a business decision on it and be done. He won't even say anything else about it. When someone asks him a question, you're like, I'm not talking about it. He'll move on. Done.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what's next up there. Okay, Ryan, here is our 25-foot Chimichanga. I love the internet. For our next spectacle, here is our Chimichanga. But
we go from Jon Jones domestic abuse.
I did
to Chimichangas. I like that
25-foot Chimichanga. I mean, why not?
That's a true.
It just sounds just a good segue there. No, Arizona restaurant celebrated its 75th anniversary by cooking a 25-foot chimichanga that is believed to be the new Guinness Book of World Records. Dozen flour tortillas, 500 pounds of shredded chicken, 200 pounds of refried beans, 250 pounds of rice, and multiple gallons of salsa. Holy tortilla. You told me earlier you don't like chimichangas. I do. Look at that chimichanga, man. Look at that thing.
I mean, well, yeah, hit play. I can't. All I can see is like a.
Hit play.
Can you play it?
Let's
Yeah.
Here we go.
I can't see it.
I hope they don't say anything about the vaccine.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you might want to mute it then.
Restaurant in Ahwatukee celebrated its 75th anniversary on Saturday by making a 25-foot, 7-inch long chimichanga.
Whoa, 25-foot, 7-inch tall chimichanga, not long. Okay,
yeah.
Kayo's
Look at these tortillas in there, man.
The world's first chimichanga. Did you know that? I had no.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Let's get to the books. I will come down to Houston. We will do a live Rig Lynx event, and we're going to cook a 30-foot chimichanga, and we're going to share it with all the people there.
A 30-foot one.
We're going to break the world record.
A 30-foot one.
Why not? Why not?
I'm down.
I mean,
we need to get the guys from Bare Knuckle to promote that.
Yeah.
To support that.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of folks in Houston we can get. We can get some folks in there to support it.
Next one up, 2,195-pound pumpkin.
That's a big pumpkin.
When you talk about things on a large scale,
pumpkin.
When you talk about things on a large scale, typically I don't even think about pumpkins. I think about like buildings and cars and bodies of water and planes and things like that. I typically don't think about pumpkins, right? Not likely, but here we have Jeff Thiel of Dillonville, Ohio, who took the top spot in the 57th annual Barnesville Pumpkin Festival way off last Wednesday night.
That's a huge pumpkin. How do you even get that up without breaking
it? Jeff owes the giant pumpkin to a gentleman he got some seeds from that has just recently passed with cancer. So unfortunately, he couldn't see the outcome of the event, but that is a hell of a pumpkin, my friend. What do you do with it, Ryan, after the competition's over? Do you make pies? Do you make a garage? Do you make a garage out of it? I mean, like a small shed.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
What do you do with the pumpkin after it's over?
Yeah, I mean, what is it that? First off, how do you pick it up without busting it? Because it feels like that kind of weight on a pumpkin. Like, how does it hold itself up?
That thing's huge.
It's huge, right? And then you got to have a F-250 just to haul it around. But to your question,
one pumpkin.
Yes, a one pumpkin, and that's in low gear. Like you're getting up the hill. You're struggling to get up the hill. That thing.
On a pallet there. So yeah, I don't know.
It's 2,400 pounds. 2,200. Yeah, 2,200 pounds. So
massive.
Yeah,
it's more than the truck you're driving.
That's right. So I don't know. Is the pumpkin tender and soft? Like, can you make a pie? Because you can make a ton of them, right? To your point. So I don't know. I really have no idea. That's a great question.
a mother-in-law home out of it.
Make your man shed out of it.
Make a pumpkin man shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's still. I've never been lucky enough to see one of these large pumpkins, watermelons, one of these things like firsthand. So I can imagine being at the festival and people are typically like walking around and be like, "Oh yeah, that's nothing. I've seen that before." But I mean, me on the other hand, I'd be like, "Look at that huge ass pumpkin, man!" I mean, you just don't ever.
No, you
don't
don't.
see pumpkins like that anywhere here.
Ever.
You don't actually see watermelons like that here either. You know,
No.
we see. I mean, what we see big bales of hay and
Yeah.
big cows and things. We don't see like big pumpkins. I mean, you see big crawfish. I mean, like, things like that. But you don't ever see anything like that.
Nope. Never see that. It's so weird, right? I agree.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Man, oh man, I think that's us.
That's us.
We cut it in under 40 minutes. So that's
Look at us.
fantastic, man.
Look at us.
We're doing good. Well, it's the first show back.
This is
a
the
couple
first
of
show
weeks, so.
back. A couple guys talking about Jon Jones, pumpkins.
And
What do you? My wife's
COVID
like,
and
oh, it's like,
shots. and
what is it
mo-
you do with Greg? I talk pumpkins and stuff, So
What do
listen,
you guys talk about on your show?
Yeah.
Wow, chimichangas and pumpkins. and
25-foot chimichanga,
Jon Jones,
200
COVID-19. I mean,
Oh gracious!
it's a full run.
It is. It really is. And listen, you don't get this content anywhere else, so
No, you
appreciate
don't.
it for what it is.
No, you don't. Not at all. So, Ryan, tell us about your new newsletter there. What you got going on?
Yeah, so it's at the same spot it was before, at least on the same email list. And last year I spent a lot of time talking about political issues, geopolitical issues, this, that, and the other. And I kind of got tired of it because a lot of reasons. And it's a space that is crowded like anything else. And I would much rather talk to people about it than me talk about it. Right. So I'd much rather
Right.
get on some guests and go back and forth with them and try to write out my thoughts on that. So I just shifted the content to something I spend a lot of time, which is business, marketing, investing, sales, junk like that. So I'm going to be writing about those things. As you mentioned, I'm now a partner in a private equity firm. Obviously, I have my own businesses, and so I spend a lot of time in the business world, investing and stuff like that. And so I want to tackle more of that type of content. I think that type of content, like for instance, if you're going to write about China, there are real, and I have a thought on China that some are informed, some are not, but there are real experts that are always like, and so it's always kind of weird. It's like, okay, should I really be the one crafting 1,000-word pieces on China on a regular basis, or should I let someone else do it? Right? I have a business. I hate to say I'm an expert because I don't like that term, but I'm 36. I've been running businesses, owning, operating, running since I was 22. So like I have some pretty good experience in that field, right? And so I don't feel as, I don't know if inadequate's the word, but I don't feel as I don't know what the word is. It feels more natural for me. And so I like the geopolitics stuff, but I just found it's easier for me to talk to people about it, get their thoughts, and then go from there.
Well, I'm happy to see you branching out in all different kinds of directions, man.
Well, I have a buddy of mine,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, you need to get back to writing." And I was like, "I know." And he's like, "Listen, you need to publish a book." And I'm like, "I know." And listen, don't ever think, people, when you tell your friends stuff that they don't listen, because I had a buddy a few months ago, one of my good friends, was encouraging me to do stuff, and he kind of pushed me back over the top. So that man is owed a thank you. He will not be named on this show, though.
Really not.
He will not be named on the show. I'm not going to name him. You can name him if you want, but I'm not going to name him.
Well, just to let you know, I'm 5 chapters in. So I was I took the same advice and went back in, and yeah. So
well, it's good to take your own advice, right? That's always a good step.
Well, we try. We as people that do speak publicly and speak to groups of people, and and do things like this, especially media and stuff that goes probably all around the world, hopefully, plug, that we have to believe some of what we say, do we not?
Not much. Just
I mean,
a little bit. Ben doesn't believe anything he says, so keep that in mind.
What? Well,
Ben doesn't
I mean,
believe anything he says.
it's only you can only fit so much in a 3-minute highlight. So.
Oh, that's great. That's a great line there.
Oh man.
That's a
Well,
great one.
well, folks, that's all for us this week. I'm Greg with Lynx, and that is Ryan with
War Room
what?
Media,
War
Ray
Room
Global Advisors,
Media,
the Five Wide Business
Five
Newsletter.
Wide
Go check it
Biz.
out. Listen,
Go check it out. Go
Go
check
check
it
it
out.
out. Check out Rig Links, people. We are already at Rig Links, but go check them out some more. And I do owe you a thanks, Greg, because I do appreciate you kind of giving me that nudge to get back into throw my hat back in the ring here and start popping my gums again. So
I want to see some more. I want to see some more books come out of you, man. I'm ready.
I know. It is something I've got books on writing books around here. So I'm in. I just gotta get it done. So
Do it, man. Do it.
All right, let's get it done.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us this week.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Good to be back, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll try to hit another one for next week. Thanks for
Awesome.
joining us for another edition of Overtime. And that's a wrap.
Peace out.
Out.
Did I say that?
You've been watching Overtime, a live series brought to you by Rick Lynx and War Room Media. Your hosts have been Greg Williams and Ryan Ray. For sponsorship opportunities, send us an email at info@ricklinks.com. Tune in next Thursday at 10 a.m. CST for another live episode.